All right, so then we got to do something about credit card debt. And we got to get unique and different here. So we're not going to just say, oh, fix your budget, do whatever it is. We're going to give you some real cool tips here. But first, I'd like to share this with Eric and with the rest of you guys here. This is the Fed's latest household credit data report. When you saw the headlines that said we're $1.08 trillion in debt, credit card debt, this is what the report or where they got the information.
Yeah.
So for example, on this screen, we're showing the actual debt versus the credit limit. So how maxed out are we? And what's really interesting is if you look down here at the bottom, this dark blue, that's your credit card balance, and the light blue is the limit. So you'd say, okay, people are doing pretty good, right? We're not even halfway there, a third of the way there. It's fine. Here's the trouble. With only that, we have delinquencies going up. And the way this breaks down is by color is the severity of being delinquent. So green is only 30 days late, slight uptick there, slight uptick of the transition to 60 days late, 90 days late, and severely derogatory is actually ticking higher as well, with only, supposedly, not much of your credit limit used, right? So what happens is these people start to get later, oh my God, I'll just spend what I can because I'm already delayed on that. And if we look at the type of loans, we find that only those delinquent by 90 days or more, the uptick there is happening in credit cards. Yep. Student loans is a bit of a we can't look at that at the moment because of COVID. Auto loans, ever so slight uptick, but well within range. Mortgages and revolving lines like HELOCs also well below range, and so no concerns there.
Now on these charts, because at the bottom you can't miss where it says Q1. So what are you looking at there as far as your time ranges? When was this put together?
Q3. This is the newest data.
Because it was showing the Q1, that's why I was wanting to make sure clarify that.
It just hasn't, how Excel does it.
I gotcha.
So we're right there reporting. That's our latest data point there.
Yep.
So let's just say let's give them some unique things that they can do. If you're in credit card debt and you're like, dude, I don't have an extra $100 to put towards this. Like, what's something clever that we can do? I've got a couple.
Yeah. I think it's really going to some things that are sometimes unconventional. The 401k that somebody says, well, never borrow from your 401k. And I'm not telling you that this is the best advice for you to do, but it could be something that if your 401k rates are going up on that too, but if you're borrowing at an 8% rate, but your credit card is 24%.
And you're becoming delinquent.
Yes. Like you're risking some major problems here. You're talking, destroying credit. Let's fix that short term, get the money, pay the credit card off. You can borrow up to $50,000 out of a 401k or 50% of the balance up to that $50,000.
I think that's
something to consider.
A great way to say, like, you borrow from your 401k at X% to pay off your credit card at a much higher percent, oftentimes 100% higher. But that's generally not good advice. 2 years ago, we'd have been like, why are you doing that? That's so weird.
Yeah.
But now, okay, we got tough times call for different things. That's what we've got to do. The thing that I actually just worked through with a client was they were going to use their HSA to reimburse themselves for previous medical expenses. That's tax-free money that comes out. And then we said, well, you've already paid for those medical expenses, but you're legally allowed to reimburse yourself. So we're going to take those dollars and we're going to put them towards your credit card. So we're getting that tax advantage, but also being able to really get himself out of kind of a surprise credit card situation there instead of getting delinquent. So let's just think one layer deeper.
Yep. Yeah. And I go at Dave Ramsey sometimes. I sometimes give him a little grief on certain things. But in this scenario, quit using the credit card. Figure out what you need to do and quit using that credit card consistently. And so with that, you've got to think through like where your dollar's going right this second. Are you saving to a Roth IRA? Hey, I am proud of you for saving to a Roth IRA, but there's no match. Your potential return, even in a great market, the average return is 9 to 10% on average. So if your rate is 24% on a credit card, pay the stinking credit card off, then come back to your Roth IRA. Do things like that. The debt snowball, all these different strategies you can look at. And then also with that, see if there's any 0% credit cards out there. Sometimes it costs you to roll that into that. But if you have the ability to roll into some sort of zero interest rate credit card, do that, pay the little bit of fee to cover that to get it over to there. And then you've got 12 months to figure it out. That gives you a little bit of time making sure that, again, you're not delinquent and destroying your credit and, getting yourself into a tight spot.
I would even go a step further there. Just because we see it happen over the last couple of years, people have oversaved for retirement because you had more cash. What do? I'll max out my Roth. I'll do this. Maybe you needed to, maybe you didn't, but you over kind of committed to it. Yeah. You can always take those dollars back. Take a portion of them back and say, and that's a weird thing for an advisor to say, right? Because we're going to make less money if you do that. But you can always take your dollars out that you put in without paying penalties or taxes. Go put that towards the credit card. Man, this is getting just out of control.
I just had a client do that. Their CPA, actually their CPA, you've met him before. He's a good friend of mine, and we work directly with his client. They own multiple businesses, and they also work W-2 jobs as well. They've got this large taxable account, and they were racking up all this credit card debt because of the businesses, because they were trying to start another business. And they had all this issue, and the CPA is the one who contacted me. He's like, hey, you need to have a conversation with them. And, because they hadn't shared this with me. Oftentimes people, they're scared to seek advice because they don't want to feel judged for it. And we're not here to judge you. We're here to help you.
I'm a financial pastor. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just want to help.
It is kind of like something, hey, you got to have a confession. Let's talk through, what have you made mistakes on financially? Let's talk through that and really make the right decisions. And so never feel, that, oh my goodness, I'm the only one in this situation. I'm embarrassed. I'm going to try to figure it out myself. Find somebody, get help from somewhere, because there are people that are literally wanting to help you and willing to help you. And so I think that, never feel that this burden there.
That's what, a lot of times when a client calls and they're like, I need to take out some money, man, it's like they feel bad, but what they don't know is, like, we have this basket of clients. Okay, everybody's going through the same thing for the most, sometimes, but so chances are I've already had that call. And it's not interesting to me. It's kind of like when you have to go to the man doctor, and you're all embarrassed. You got to get your physical done, and you're over 40 now, and they do the thing with the.
Not quite there yet.
No, okay, I haven't done it yet, but you're embarrassed. But that guy's doing this all day. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not a big deal. So think of it that way.
You had to throw the thing out. You had to show your hands and keep your hands down. Just
okay.
We know what you're talking about. I don't need a visual.
All right. Lastly, if you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, all this is crazy. This credit card debt. Let's take a look at the data here. If you look at the bottom here, they're saying the data here. The panel is a nationally representative 5% random sample of individuals that have a social security number and a credit report. And if we go down here, I did a Jazz After Dark on this, so I went in detail, but all figures in this table are based on a 5% random sample of individuals. However, to reduce our processing costs, we drew a 2% random subsample of these individuals, which in math means that equates to a 0.1% random sample of individuals, or all of this is based on about 267,000 people. And that's just with credit reports. If you go further, if they had a credit report that had a mortgage on it and a student loan, but no credit card, it's 266,999.
Yeah.
So it's less and less people.
So the data is so far off, potentially, maybe for what people are seeing out there in the economy. Maybe you're feeling this. You're like, okay, there's no way that, this is the credit card debt versus the limits, you've got this spread there of how much you can borrow versus how much you're spending on your credit card. Look at yours. Where are you at with that? Is your credit card getting paid every month, or are you in a position where you're like, oh man, I'm close to maxing this thing out.
Yep.
I'm struggling paying the payments. I'm curious to know what people's thoughts are on that.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah. No doubt credit's getting tighter, it's getting tougher out there. So think through it. If you have to, the point of today was to just say, do something a little bit extra in terms of thinking about what you can do.
Yeah. And I rescued a cow from a slaughterhouse, named him Jake from Steak Farm.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. That wasn't bad, actually. No, it almost got me. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and adios.
Adios.